Hey, this is Seth with In-Demand Career. I show people how to get life-changing jobs in digital marketing with no previous experience or education. And that includes my very special guest today, Ben, who is only 19 years old and was unhappy with college and decided he wanted a different career path. He did not want to go into accounting or finance. He wanted to go into marketing, but knew college was not the path. He took my course and in a relatively short amount of time got an entry-level salaried position doing paid search that he is very, very happy with. He is 19 years old, has no debt, is making more than what most recent college graduates make, and he's very excited to share his story with you guys. Thanks for being here, Ben.
Thanks for having me, Seth. Happy to be here.
Awesome. So why don't you tell people just a little bit about your current job that you're working right now?
Yeah, so I currently work for a marketing agency. They work primarily with automotive brands and dealerships. So think of like Audi, Ford, Infiniti, Lexus. And my job is a paid search specialist. So I handle Google ad accounts for a handful of their clients.
That's amazing. You're 19 and you're working with major brands, international billion-dollar brands, and you're working with them. Are you at liberty to say like about how much kind of ad spend you're managing over there, like roughly estimate?
Yeah, it's crazy. So I manage about 25 accounts right now. I'll get eventually I'll get up to about 40 accounts. And it will right now I'm managing about $150,000 in ad spend, which is
Per month?
crazy
Yeah,
per month. Yeah, per month.
that's amazing, guys. That's more than $1 million a year. It's actually similar to what I was managing at my first job. But that's incredible to be 19 years old to be having that kind of responsibility when most people your age are sitting in a classroom, not learning very much practical stuff. So this is really awesome, and it sounds like now you have a good income, you're able to save money. Why don't you tell people a little bit about what your situation was like, and how you ended up in this field? I know you had mentioned to me that you had done a little bit of college, and that kind of led you down this path.
Yeah, so I had gone to college for 1 year. Basically realized at the end of that year that I did want to go into marketing. So I took like all the general classes like finance, accounting, all the business courses, and really realized that I wanted to kind of focus on marketing. The only problem was that I was talking to some of the marketing kids at school, and like it seemed like an absolute joke. Like the marketing classes, like they mentioned like the classes are like study hall, like they don't really teach that much. So like, I was pretty skeptical to begin with, the marketing classes at college. So it was the end of the year, and I had realized that there could be a different route. I was looking at different kind of ways I could get into marketing without college because from a logical and common sense perspective, it didn't seem like the best choice. So basically, I did what every other kid does, and I go on YouTube, look up, you know, how to get into marketing as a teenager, and through that, I came across Seth's course, and I watched his testimonials like this one, and that's kind of how I found digital marketing.
Awesome, man. It's cool that you talk with some marketing majors. I mean, honestly, it's funny to me because I'm like the best advice you can give anybody considering college is to like talk to someone who's either in college or just graduated. Just like you'd talk if you wanted to buy a new car, you'd ask like a car owner, like, "Hey, is this a good car? How's it going?" People don't do that, but it's awesome you got to hear directly that marketing as a degree as a major is a joke. It is outdated concepts taught by usually tenured old professors, and they never even teach digital, which is where most of the jobs are. So, I salute you for having the intelligence to make that inquiry and then make this choice. So you said you're on YouTube, you found the channel, and then what was kind of the process? Like, what happened when you decided to take the course? How did that go?
Yeah, so it didn't take me long to kind of realize the value of your course, Seth, because of just the testimonials you had. I came across Shane Hummus's video, so he kind of laid out like the industry of digital marketing and the potential it has. Digital marketing it's not a get rich quick career. It's very much a long term journey where you can progress and get better. Um, which that obviously is appealing for anybody because you don't want to stay in the same place your whole life. That's incredibly that was inspiring, and that gave me one more reason to pursue it. So yeah, it did not take me long to buy the course. I learned about it probably I learned about it, and then 2 days later I bought the course. And yeah.
Got it. And so what happened? And once you bought the course, once you got in, how did that go?
So I basically followed Seth's course to a T. So started with the mindset section. Then you learn, the fundamental different areas of digital marketing. That was super fun. So I built out my practice PPC spreadsheet, built out my SEO audit, built a website, ran Google Ads to that website. Then I went to the resume section, which is where I built out my resume and my cover letter. And then from there, I started applying for jobs. I applied to about 100 jobs in total, got 10 interviews, and then eventually got one offer.
That's awesome, man. That's very well said. And really paints a clear picture of how the process works. And I love how you just said, yeah, 100 resumes or 100 applications. That's a great number. You mentioned it's not get rich quick. It's not like, hey, you're gonna make $10,000 in 2 days or some nonsense. You had to put in the effort, put in the work. You had to deal with rejections. That's part of it. But 10 interviews from 100 resume applications is a lot, dude. That is a high percentage, especially to get interviews. At 19, you have no college degree, no previous work experience, I imagine, or not much. So that's really impressive. So let's dig into that just a little bit. So first of all, what was it like when you got your first responses to the job, applications? How did that feel? What was that like for you?
It was amazing, Seth. It just proved that like your process worked, and it was so exciting.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, it is exciting. It's exciting to get that. But what was it like when you started doing interviews? I mean, were you nervous? Was it kind of a new experience for you?
I mean, yeah, I was definitely nervous, especially in the beginning. One thing you emphasize in the course, Seth, is like you want to kind of relax and you kind of want to have fun with it. And you know, I took that advice, and I kind of set goals for myself. You mentioned that just because you don't get a job doesn't mean you didn't get a win you didn't get a win. So for me, like a win for me would be getting a response and then getting an interview. So like it was so much fun to kind of go through this process and learn as you go. After every interview, there's always something you can take away from it. So it was a super fun experience for sure.
That's really important, guys. I really think I'm glad you said it that way, man. Because I did get that, I deal with so many students and I see so many different characters and personality types. Everybody's great. So people have different vibe and say like, there's kind of an intangible element even when people are interviewing other people. And I'm saying if you have fun and you relax, people are going to like you on top of your knowledge and on top of your expertise and what you've learned. And that it just makes it a more pleasant experience for you, for everybody, for the person doing the job search and the person interviewing you, and it keeps you positive, and eventually lands you the job. So I want to just talk about the actual interview that got you the job. So what was it like in the actual interview? Remember, you're 19, no previous work experience. What kind of questions are they asking you? How's the back and forth? Like, tell us about give me some more details.
So it was a 3-step process. So there was 3 interviews. First interview was with HR. So they asked me some pretty general questions about my experience. Why I'm interested in their company. What kind of budgets I've worked with freelancing. After that, a few days later, I got the second interview. That was a technical interview. So that was again, pretty basic questions, which is everything we learned in Seth's course.
Let me just interrupt you for a second. I'm going to ask you, when they asked you about the budgets, obviously you just started the course and only worked on your own. I don't know if you worked on your own accounts. Did you get your hands on some local businesses to work on? Like, what did you say when they asked you about budgets?
Yeah, so I was able to freelance for two companies in my local area, a bakery and a daycare. So the budgets I was working with were like $300 to $500 per month, and then plus the account I worked on with my personal website, which is like $20.
That's awesome. And that's like, especially if you're in the course, that's exactly how you answer the question. This is perfect. You don't need to have managed, there are certain job postings where they're like, you need to have managed $500,000 a month. Even in those cases, just be confident and proud of the fact that you managed $300 or $500 or whatever it is, or your own account for $20. Obviously, in this case, they didn't throw him, they didn't reject him. They moved him forward in the process. It was impressive enough. And that's also again, back to the job market. When you hear me do these walkthrough videos, like I said, 19-year-old, no college degree, no previous job experience, has managed $300 a month, gets moved on to the next round. That is because employers are looking for this type of skill set and this type of experience and not finding it in most places. And the other thing was, into the technical interview, I think you'd mentioned, they asked you maybe, what kind of questions did they ask you? Just like, do you have a couple of sample questions you remember?
Yeah, like um, for example, like bidding strategy. So what type of bidding strategy would you use like at different phases of an account's maturity, basically? So that's one question. Um, Other questions is like how would you structure a campaign? So
Boom.
like if you're
That's it. So I'm cutting you off because guys, it's like the whole course. That's what I'm teaching you. I love they're still asking you this question. I've been teaching this course for years. Like it's the same. They don't have people do not know how to do it. So that's what they're asking you about. And again, I just wanted to illustrate a couple of quick questions, just so people, especially in the course, or if you're thinking about the course, understand that these are basic questions. These are not like, Google. Google is known for having these crazy, like, how would you count how many windows there are in New York City if you don't have any resources? There's some crazy questions. No, these are basic questions. And then you had told me something about the project, the spreadsheet impressed the employers.
yeah, so the third interview I met with one of the vice presidents and um basically, after the second interview, I even before I even got a third interview, I wanted to get some more practice with spreadsheets. Um, and I created a PPC spreadsheet that for a local car dealership in the area to demonstrate kind of that what I know about creating a campaign from scratch. So yeah, and that I brought it to the third interview, and that blew them away, which was really cool.
When you say it blew them away, what do you mean? Like, give me the play-by-play. Like, what did they say? Were they surprised that you brought this project?
Yeah, they were really impressed of how like thorough I was with the planning of the campaign. And I had actually gotten some comments from other interviews saying like no other candidate had ever like brought a spreadsheet before, which was goes to show how valuable that spreadsheet was.
Yes, it is, guys. It's just you just have to remember. I mean, the way I like to look at it is that I try to say this again and again. Your competition is not that impressive. Your competition for these jobs, especially, and when you're just starting out, you need. I keep repeating this so that you kind of you'll absorb it at some point. Is that when you see there's 100 applicants for a job, that doesn't mean there's 100 amazing applicants. It usually means there's like 95 bad applicants, 3 okay applicants, maybe one other good applicant, and then you can use all the stuff from the course like this to stand out. And this is a perfect example. So you went through the process, you got to the third interview. And then how did it go from the third interview to you getting hired?
Yeah, so I got hired about a week and a half afterwards, I think. So there was some waiting time in between. I had some other interviews with other companies, and yeah, I was at the YMCA and got an email from the company and was like, "Congratulations, you got the job." And then, yeah, a few days later, I accepted the offer. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. I mean, how did you feel when you got that email?
I felt great. I felt relieved. It's just, I was excited, but like I said before, like I had so much faith in the process because it had worked for so many people before. So like it was surprising, but I knew it was coming.
That's awesome, man. That's a pretty good insight into the type of mindset that people have when they achieve any goal. You know, it's like you have a clear vision, you believe in it, and then it comes to reality. But like, what was it like? I mean, you wrote a really emotional message in the forums, and what was it like? Just like, realizing that you had this job and that, telling your family about that.
When I got a job, I was really excited. Um, all this work that I've been putting in, all this, um, it wasn't just my efforts. It was kind of the culmination of the efforts from Seth from this course, from the community behind the course, from the mentorship calls, from the LinkedIn chats that I was messaging um, some of our students about my progress in the course. Um, you know, I'm just incredibly grateful for. I was just so grateful for having the experience, the journey of you know the learning. Sorry, overthinking it.
Yeah. It's all
And I really, I mean, to be frank, like when I got the letter, like okay, sorry, I don't know, like
just be
that
honest.
message. Yeah, okay.
You said, to be frank, what?
Like when I got the actual letter, like I was pretty like neutral. I was like, this is amazing. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine. There's no like, I don't want you to, we're not gonna manufacture something here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But let me ask you this. When you were in college and you were realizing things weren't working out, how did you feel? Were you stressed?
In college,
Yeah.
I mean, I never really knew like. So there's a saying that goes like, it's hard to be excited about the destination, the journey when you don't know what the destination is, and like that's kind of how I felt, in college and in school. But like your course like lays it out and it's easy to be excited about.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Um, what should we call it? Uh, yeah, okay, so we don't have to dig into that anymore, but I did want to ask you this. What was the deal with your parents? Because it sounded to me like, they kind of wanted you to go the traditional route and going to college. And then were they supportive of you when you decided to go this alternate route and not go back to college?
Yeah, so I think like most parents, they kind of push towards college, and then if you try to kind of go think of a different route, they're a little bit wary of what you're doing. So they were definitely a little bit wary of like my decision to not go to college, and there was like some pressure on me to like go back to college. Um, for me, I kind of just had to trust the process, despite them um, maybe not trusting me, which is totally fine. Um, yeah, and then once I got the job, obviously they were excited for me and especially supportive of me.
Did their attitude change? Do they still think you should go back to college?
Um, I haven't really asked them directly, but I mean they haven't asked me about college, so I would assume that's a no.
Yeah. This is what's going to happen, guys, especially younger guys. Your parents love you and they care about you. And they're just like, in marketing, we had like, it's really funny when you work in marketing, parents are the easiest people to sell. When you're a little kid, if you tell a parent, hey, this is going to make your kid safe, they'll buy whatever because they're stupidly in love with you. They love you so much. And they've been brainwashed to believe college is going to make you safe and successful. So that's why they're so nuts about it. That's why they'll, go into debt to pay for this ridiculous thing. And so when you take the course, if you have this pressure from your parents and you're able to just kind of block it out or just stay focused on the goal, like Ben did, and then you get the result, they'll leave you alone because they just want you to be safe and they want you to be able to support yourself. And what the irony is, you're so much further ahead of your friends who are in college. They are building up incredible debt that will be so hard to pay off. They're not learning anything practical. And you have a 4-year head start on them in your career. So you started out at this entry-level position. In 4 years, you're going to be in a senior role. And on that note, what I wanted to get into a little bit was what's it like at the job? Is it fully remote? Is it in person? Is it hybrid? I forgot. And what is the job actually like?
Yeah, the job is fully remote right now. And it's like exactly how you described it, Seth. So, fully remote. So I'm in the comfort of my own home. You're very much working kind of independently, so you don't have a manager kind of breathing down your neck. The only thing they care about is whether or not you get the job done. The culture is very relaxed. Um, the my coworkers are incredibly supportive. I go to them with questions every single day, and it's great.
That's awesome, man. And what did I say? What is like you said you're living at home, so you're able to save money. What's it like? Like you have flexibility if you need to take some time to go do something, are you able to do that? Or are they kind of like, no, you have to be at your desk all day? How does that work?
Yeah, no, it's completely flexible. So if I have to, run an errand or take some time off, they're definitely open to me taking that time.
That's awesome, man. It sounds like you enjoy the actual work.
I love it. Yeah, it's like it's kind of like it's like what you were talking about in other videos. It's a really good mix of analytical thinking and creativity, and that blend is really enjoyable for sure.
Yeah, guys. I mean, there's no like perfect job in existence, even movie stars who seem to have the perfect job. It's, those are like 16-hour days. It's very rough. There's always more going on behind the scenes. But as far as a entry-level job or a career that's secure and has growth opportunities, I think for me, I found, yeah, there's a certain satisfaction in being able to use your left and right brain at the job, work remotely, have that kind of cool workplace culture where you're not, as you said, nobody's breathing down your neck. And again, to be making, the money you're making at your age, no college degree is it's really awesome. And I'm really excited to see where you go from here. So I want to thank you for taking some time to share your story with all of us. Is there anything you want to say to me or anybody watching the video before we finish up?
Yeah, I'd say like if you're interested in marketing, I'd say check out Seth's course. And I'd say give the course a shot, and you'd be surprised where it can take you.
Awesome, man. And are you down? Can people message you on LinkedIn if they have any questions for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, you guys can message me. My LinkedIn username is Benjamin Zathmary.
You have,
Seth
uh,
P.
you have a complicated last name. I am going to put a link under the
Yeah.
description. I'm going to say his name is Benjamin and his last name starts with an S. And we will put the actual link in the description below the video. But anyway, man, thanks so much for for hanging out and sharing your story with everybody. As I said, guys, feel free to reach out to Ben with any questions. And of course, if you haven't already checked out my webinar where I talk about how you can go from zero to a $60,000 a year career with no previous experience or education, click the link below or click the link below that for my full digital marketing training that has helped thousands of people in the last few years, just like Ben, start a career in digital marketing. So anyway, Ben, yeah, thanks again. We will talk again soon in the future. I'm excited to see where your career goes from here, and we'll talk then.
Awesome. Thank you, Seth.